Subscribe and hit the bell icon to never miss another update from India Forums.
I haven't seen the film and female gangsters na ज़्यादा reference points है नहीं. When I moved on from television, I wanted to do the kind of work that I'm getting to do now. I'm not comfortable sharing them. That's what social media is for. I don't think the audiences really make the distinction between ये तो TV actor है और ये Bollywood actor है. लोगों को काम से मतलब है. कितनी मोहब्बत है, of course. That really changed my life in many ways. I decided to take the metro, and metro was really new at that time. I realized that like everybody kind of knows who I am, and somebody came and showed me their nose ring and said that we've got this because you have it. कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे was a very risky show. The limitation of television is that there is only so much risk that you can take. Wait करने की आदत डाल लो, क्योंकि सेट पे भी बहुत वेट करनी पड़ती है और लाइफ में भी बहुत वेट करनी पड़ती है.
Hi Kritika, welcome to India Forums. How are you doing?
Very good, very happy to be on India Forum.
Firstly, thank you for doing this with us. So without a further ado, let's just get started with the interview.
Let's go.
Without putting you down or making you feel a little older than me, I just want to tell you that I have seen you since the days of Kitni Mohabbat Hai.
Yes.
Which used to come on Imagine back then.
That's correct.
And we really loved you since then till today.
Thank
I want to
you.
ask you, Kritika, television से अब OTT तक का journey आप कैसे describe करोगे हमारे लिए?
Lots of ups and downs that I've had to stay patient through, but thrilling, honestly. I'm so happy. Like you said, by the way, I get this a lot, this Kitni Mohabbat Hai, and so much love for that show and so much love from people who've been watching me since then. And I think that love is even more special क्योंकि जिन्होंने मेरी journey शुरू से देखी है, when they see what I'm doing now and they appreciate the attempt to do something different, to get out of my comfort zone, I really feel like I feel seen, I feel understood, and I really want to thank you and everybody who's been watching since then.
Well, not to forget, हाल ही में हमने आपको एक kick-ass किरदार निभाते हुए देखा है in Bambai Meri Jaan. How did you come on board with Bambai Meri Jaan?
So Bambai Meri Jaan just happened to me, I mean, I think I'm so fortunate that Casting Bay, Anmol, Kritarth, these people from this casting agency, Casting Bay, they cast for some fabulous films and shows. They called me to audition for Bambai Meri Jaan. I didn't know much about Habiba, but the audition scenes were only really kick-ass, like you said. And I gave that audition. I was quite nervous. I was like, this is not something I've done before. I don't know how they've called me, but okay, let's give it our best.
Yeah.
I did that and got selected. And then met the director, read the whole script, and I was blown away by it. It was a world that was so, detailed and so dense, and so many characters, such beautiful arcs, and so different from our lives because this is a gangster story. I really wanted to be a part of it, and then we started prep and shoot, and now everybody's watching Habiba.
काफ़ी कम हमें देखने मिलता है कि कोई फीमेल गैंगस्टर स्क्रीन्स पे आ रही है, तो आपने आपके कैरेक्टर के लिए कहीं से कोई इंस्पिरेशन ली थी? डिड यू रीड एनी बुक्स और यू सॉ एनी कैरेक्टर्स लाइक श्रद्धा कपूर से सीना पारकर कैरेक्टर व्हिच इज बीइंग टॉक्ड अबाउट एज अ फीमेल गैंगस्टर, तो कहीं से इंस्पिरेशन ली थी आपने?
I haven't seen the film, and you're so right. For female gangsters ना ज़्यादा reference points है नहीं. You don't have many references on celluloid, especially. Even to read. There is of course Hussain Zari's work, and he's one of the creators of the show. I mean, he's done the story. This is from his reportage, so it's based on a lot of real people in that time, in that era, in that world of crime. So there are stories that you can read, and for this character it's fictitious, and for this character especially because you see Habiba being born into the show, and then you see the world she grows up in and the family she has and what kind of a brother she has who she really looks up to. So it was almost like a lot of it was, the prep was in the script already. So all the research has been done by the writers, and we had been given this condensed form in the form of our script, where we just had to get into the psyche of these characters. So ऐसा कोई real person नहीं था, या ऐसा कोई character नहीं देखा on screen to become like that. It was more of a just trying to get into the head of the character and say कि क्या होता होगा उसके दिमाग में, what motivates her, like why is she fearless, why does she not care, what does she want, is she ambitious, is she just protective about her family, is she both, why does she want to be like Dara? So it was a lot of these questions and things that me and my director Shujat Saudagar, we had like so many conversations about Habiba and how she is, and how basically Habiba and Dara are actually the same person in a lot of ways. They are really, they're brother and sister, and they think alike like nobody else in the family.
True.
So a lot of it was from the script itself, and then of course then you use your imagination and hope you've done well.
Maybe अभी इसके बाद शायद लोग हबीबा से इंस्पिरेशन लेंगे आगे जाके गैंगस्टर रोल्स के लिए.
बहुत बड़ी बात हो जाएगी.
Well, talking about content these days, Kritika, हर जगह से there is something or the other coming up. There are so many OTT platforms, you know. How do you see this as a change or as a challenge to the other industry, जैसे television industry हुई हमारी?
Yeah.
So there are so many people who are opting out or looking forward for a web series or a web show or a film on OTT. How do you see this change? Do you think OTT is the real game changer?
It definitely is. It has been the real game changer for me. When I moved on from television, I wanted to do the kind of work that I'm getting to do now, creatively. And it's true that the best writing and the best talent is on OTT right now. Whether it's actors, writers, or filmmakers, and the focus is really on storytelling. It's not bogged down by box office numbers or TRPs right now. So there's just more creative freedom, and in that sense it has really opened doors for like new voices of, again, writers, directors and actors like me who've been willing to, or who've been really wanting to push the boundaries, to do something different, to be part of stories that are not formulaic, and do characters that are not stereotypical.
Exactly, I was going to say that.
So just this choice is great for us people in the industry, and also for the audiences. I, as an audience, I really enjoy having the choice to of so many shows to choose from, of so many films and different genres to pick from.
बिल्कुल. वैसे कृतिका, हम सब जानते हैं आप इतने साल से एक्टिंग में. So as an actor, your life is just like an open book to the fans. Or social media becomes an add-on to it,
Yeah.
Whatever work you do, whatever personal picture you post, or video you post, there are comments coming, लोगों के अलग-अलग opinions होते हैं. तो कभी-कभी हम trolls के भी शिकार हो जाते हैं, है ना? काफी सारे mean comments होते हैं, unnecessary होते हैं. How, as an actor, how do you take it? How do you deal with it? क्या mentally आपको stress करता है कभी-कभी? How do you deal with these trolls online?
So over time, I have grown a thick skin now.
Okay.
I keep my sensitivity and emotions for my work, because as an actor you need to. But about everything else, all these frills, all this noise around the work, I've kind of like become a little like distant from it. As you rightly said, I also started acting when I was very young, so my life was really an open book, and everything was just out there. And of course, if I choose to be on a public platform, people have a right to comment, and not everybody is going to write good things. I understand that. So I think what I have chosen to do is, now things that are really sacred to me, things that are very private to me, I don't really share them. I'm not comfortable sharing them. And everything else that's work related, that's my public persona, is of course out there, because that's what social media is for. And whatever people say on it is fine. I'm going to get both bouquets and brickbats. It's a part of life. I think you have to really not take it that seriously and not take yourself so seriously. That's the only way. Because social media se to aur koi hai. Matlab, now we're not running away from it.
Such a savage answer. Abhi tak ke, this is the best answer that I've ever heard. Bouquets and bricks dono milenge, and you are dealing with it just perfectly. Kritika, हमने ना हाल ही में एक trend देखा है. जब television actors Bollywood में एक हाथ movie कर लेते हैं ना, they don't like to be associated by television anymore. We get messages saying कि अरे television actor की जगह Bollywood actor लिख दो उनके नाम के सामने. So why do you think is this happening?
I think it's happening because of the industry and the media, to be honest with you. I don't think the audiences really make the distinction between ये तो TV actor है और ये Bollywood actor है. लोगों को काम से मतलब है. If they like your character, they in fact remember you for your character, for with that name, for those shows or films. But I think because TV actors face this distinction and this kind of prejudice so much in our lives and in this industry, and even though things have become better, but hush hush abhi bhi chalta hai, and like there is this distinction.
True.
And when you see that the tag is stopping you from getting certain opportunities, and it's not an even playing field for you just because you are tagged as an actor, I understand. why people want to disassociate with that, because it feels like the tag really has that weight. You know, it becomes a burden after a point. And it's not because, and believe me, like, it's not because actors don't have gratitude for their journey or for their fans or for the love they've got on television. But if somebody wants to grow and they're not going to, you know, they don't get to grow because of this tag, they'll want to move away from it only to explore themselves as an actor. So I think it's the problem is in the people who are tagging. I think an actor is an actor, you know, beyond medium. And you know, the people should just comment on how they are as actors and not what industry they are in.
सो ट्रू. हाल जैसे अपने आपने कहा कि ना एक्टर को कभी कभी उसके कैरेक्टर के नाम से जाना जाता है. क्या आपको याद है वो पहली बार जब किसी ने आपको आपके नाम से नहीं बल्कि आपके कैरेक्टर के नाम से आवाज दी थी, अरे ये तो वो है ना करके? डू यू रिमेम्बर दैट फर्स्ट इंसिडेंट व्हिच इज हैपेंड?
Yeah, so Kitni Mohabbat Hai, of course. And you know, that was a show that really changed my life in many ways. In the sense that I was not this, you know, of course, because I'm not from the industry and I'm not even from Bombay and I had no connection with this world. That's the first time I saw what it is to be popular or what it is to be known or to become a household name as TV actors and characters become. But for months I didn't know that. Because we started shooting and we would just shoot every single day for many hours. Our life used to be home, work, back home, or just meet, you know, your friends, or like just like party once in a while, but not really interacting with the outside world.
True.
It was when I went back to Delhi. I've done my school and college in Delhi, so I have a lot of friends, and I went back to Delhi to meet my friends, and I decided to take the metro, and metro was really new at that time. So I decided to take the metro, and I realized that like everybody kind of knows who I am, and people were pointing and they were calling me Arohi, and somebody came and showed me their nose ring and said that we've got this because you have it. I was just overwhelming. I don't think I really even like understood what was going on, because बॉम्बे में इतना नहीं होता है.
जी बिल्कुल.
बॉम्बे में लोगों को आदत है एक्टर्स को देखने की, but the moment you get out of the city and people recognize you, it was a new feeling for me.
It's a big deal.
And yeah, I remember it very clearly.
Well, आपने इंडस्ट्री में कई सालों से काम करते आ रहे हो, और अभी भी आप जिस तरीके से you're moving forward with the content that you're providing the audience. So I want to ask you, आपको क्या difference लगता है in television industry then and today? You know, we have seen shows जो काफी regressive थे, but then we have shows now which are quite progressive. We talk about our shows like Anupama, which is going on, right? And then people talk about pay parity also. ये तो Bollywood में भी होता है. Priyanka Chopra recently spoke about it, that Bollywood is a big name, but still inside there's a lot of pay parity which happens. So is there something like this in television industry also, or what is the difference जो तब था और अब नहीं?
Television is definitely better to its women, because also, like, you have so many female protagonists, right? I think almost in all the shows have like a female lead who's kind of leading the narrative.
True.
Even in terms of pay parity, much better, because people are really paid as per, you know, the number of days and number of hours you put in and your character's importance. So it's better. About regressive content, I mean, even when I did television, there were like, I consciously picked shows that were not regressive. कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे was a very risky show for that time, just because it was a story between this older man and a younger woman, you know. And even the topics that show touched, we were not doing the Saas Bahu drama.
True.
And with Kitni Mohabbat Hai also, with I did Reporters, which was again, you know, a new kind of show.
True.
Honestly, the limitation of television is that there is only so much risk that you can take. Because it's a, you know, and I understand that it's a business after all, and people like to watch certain kind of content. And that's more like, you know, there's a family audience, it goes to a wider audience, it has to be palatable to them. And also because you have TRPs, then the writing and the tracks are decided by what people are watching. So एक पॉइंट के बाद उसमें इनोवेशन खत्म हो जाता है. एंड व्हेन यू डोंट हैव अ हार्ड बाउंड स्क्रिप्ट जिसका बिगिनिंग मिडिल एंड एंड मतलब नहीं होता आपके पास टेलीविजन में, तो फिर एक पॉइंट के बाद इट गेट्स रिपेटिटिव. एंड दैट्स द ओनली, यू नो, डिफरेंस.
ट्रू। लास्टली कृतिका, अगर एक 20 साल की लड़की या 20 साल के लड़के को इंडस्ट्री में अपना पहला कदम रखना है, उसके लिए आपका एडवाइस क्या होगा?
वेट करने की आदत डाल लो, क्योंकि सेट पे भी बहुत वेट करनी पड़ती है और लाइफ में भी बहुत वेट करनी पड़ती है. If what you do really means something to you, if you really have a path in mind, if there is if you want excellence, तो आपको सीखने में भी टाइम लगेगा. यू नीड पेशेंस. आपको वो अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलने के लिए भी बहुत लोगों से मिलना पड़ेगा, ऑडिशंस देने पड़ेंगे. You know, that's the regular way of going about it. True. Unless you have a shortcut. And then उसके बाद भी there is no success, there's no guarantee of success. So you know, you have to again stay patient through your failures as well, because you're bound to fail sometime or the other. So it's just, you know, you're in this for a long haul. It's not something that, and I think that's true for many careers. Any career needs 10 years to like really establish yourself in it. This one is just more, it's harder, it's more competitive, but if you're really crazy about it, go for it.
Well, अब बम्बई मेरी जान के बाद ऑडियंसेस को और हमें आपको कहाँ देखने का मौका मिलेगा? What are your upcoming projects?
So my next show is 11-11. It's produced by Sikya and Dharma, Puneet Monga and Karan Johar's production houses. Sikya. And it's a police procedural drama, very interesting. अभी मैं gangster थी, अब बम्बई मेरी जान में मैं gangster थी, वहाँ पे मैं पुलिस वाली हूँ. So that's the next thing that people are going to see me in, and I'm excited and nervous to see how people, you know, receive that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for doing this with us, Kritika. It was great having you with us. That is all that I had in store for you.
Thank you.